Hey, what's up? Today, I'm going to be unboxing and reviewing the Garmin 780 diesel truck navigation. So stay tuned. Alright, well, we got it. Here it is. Garmin. I got the 780 version, which is, like I said, the one that does not have the dash cam. I didn't think it was quite worth it at this moment in my career. So, let's see. Has a bunch of different stuff here. And one of the reasons why I went ahead and got it now, I'll show you here in a second. Here's the one tree worth of paper that printed out as my receipt. Well, half of that is the, let's see, where's it at? There's a rebate right now that's going on until the end of the year, so you get $30 back, so which is good. It helps lower the price a little bit. I mean, this thing isn't cheap. It's, you know, you can see there, $430, so basically get your tax paid for. And reading through the paperwork here, just like any other rebates, takes 6 to 10 weeks to process because, you know, they like to take their time and do their verification, whatever. So, all right, let's go ahead and jump in here and see what's in here. Maybe. Come on. There we go. Sorry, I don't have a mount or anything to put this phone on, but there she is. 7 inches of screen. Welcome, this product is ready to use. Register your device at Garmin, blah blah blah. Download smart link out to a smartphone and pair it to your Garmin device for access to live traffic and more, which I will be doing because I have Verizon service and I connect it to my phone. When I need to, I can just turn on the hotspot, and or if needed. I'm not 100% sure if that's needed right now, but let's get rid of that thing. Let's see, what do we have here? Looks like the cigarette port charger. It goes into the back of the mount, which is magnetic. So it's that. It's like a USB cord to connect to, well, not 100% sure if that, yeah, it goes maybe from the phone to the device itself to do any updates or connections. And this looks like the suction mount. Yep. Alright, there it is. Suction part and the magnetic charging port. It's nice and sturdy, definitely not flimsy, cheap stuff. Well, there it goes. Alright, that's where you plug the charging thing is. There, get some light on it. There's that. Right, that's that. Okay, so we got that. And the instruction booklet that nobody ever reads. So yeah, that's what's in the box. All right, so taking off that thing off the screen. Luckily, it's just static cling, so there's no sticky residue or anything on the screen. But feeling the device, it is very sturdy. It's got a little bit of weight to it, which is nice. So it feels good. But let's go ahead and power it on here. So you can hold it down. All right, startup screen here. Let's get me out of the picture here. All right, you see a truck in the background. Nice little mountain scenery. All right, so obviously English here. Start. Yep. I read all that. Your device data uses device data such as error logs, location. You can sense GARMIN collecting using sharing. Yeah, sure, whatever. Let's finish. Yep, read that too. All right, so yeah, you can use this for tractor, straight truck, bus, even your car. So I'm going to be using this for a tractor, your trailer configuration. So I'm only going to be hauling one, our max height. The trailers we haul are 13.6. We are 102 inches wide, which is 8'6". And the total length, which would be 65. Actually, no, previous. I think we are actually 75. Next, total weight. I'm going to go ahead and put in the 80,000 pound max. All right. I do not have the endorsements to do any of these, so I will not be needing any of those. So there we go. Shows you a little profile of the truck. What is this? Oh, that's to change anything. Let's see, max weight per axle. It's a 34,000 pound trailer tandem axle. Number of axles will be 5. Max speed here, because Millis trucks are at the beginning governed at 66. What this part of GARMIN is going to use that for is determining how long it's going to take you to get to your destination. So let's see, adjust routing and arrival time. Yeah, that's what it says there. I think it's hard to read because the screen dims after just a half a second of not touching it. Let's see, hazmat material odometer will tell you obviously how far you've driven. The VIN number, I don't have my own truck, so I'm not going to put that in there yet. I don't have my own tractor number, and the trailer numbers are going to constantly change. So we'll select that. All right, it is ran by Android software. So welcome settings, touch and hold background to customize it. Got it. That's a cool little background, so I'll just go ahead and leave that the way it is. But there you go, guys. That's the welcome screen. That's what you're going to see every time you start it up here. Now it does tell you to go to garmin.com/express to register your device, and also that's where you do the updates. I do not have access to my personal computer right now, so I may not be able to download and register everything right now. Voice command, smartphone link, which I'll be doing that here, and I don't think I can do it while I'm making a video, so yeah, let me play around with this thing, get familiar with it, then I'll come back and show you guys what I found out. So just got back from a few days of running with this thing, and I think I got a pretty good idea as to what's going on here. Trying to do this one-handed, so excuse the clumsiness. So as you can see, put 2,300 or 2,370.6 miles on it. So I got that much experience with it here. Overall, it's a really good unit. I really have no complaints except for one. Well, there are a couple little quirks about it that I wish would be there. Well, first of all, when we left out the day I got it, the very first route and the very first road we passed, it tried to take us down, which is like a lane and a half country road. So that wasn't a good sign. My trainer looked at me and he's like, that's not a good sign. If it does that a couple more times, we're gonna have you go exchange that. But you know, it didn't really do that the rest of the time, so I don't know if it just had to work a little bug out of its system or what. But so yeah, you can see I'm here in the Cartersville terminal, and it's this road right here. It tried to take us on. No, I'm sorry. This little thing right here. It tried to take us on that when we went to leave. So yeah. So it's no big deal. So overall, like I said, it's a really good unit. Very smooth. The interface is quick. The transitions are quick. The buttons are nice and soft to touch. You don't have to press hard on them at all. There's very little lag. Calculating the route doesn't take long at all. So let's go through here. Let's see, a couple of this saved. See, I saved some stuff that we went to. Let's go to the Trenton terminal. Well, first of all, let's go through these buttons here. So that'll tell you, you can see where on the map it is. If you're not familiar, if you don't remember where it's at, you can just zoom all the way out, see where it's located, the address that you saved, how many miles, how long it's going to take, your arrival time. You can click on that, and it'll, if it thinks there's two routes there, it'll give you options to take, and it'll show you on the map. But obviously this particular route, there's nothing other than taking 75 24 to up there. So I would just click on that.
Please drive to highlighted route.
And boom, there you go. It's ready to go. Now, this is how the screen looks like when you're navigating. Except, it would have the next turn up here in that corner. So you can tap on that, see your turn by turn. Now, any sort of cautions or things like that, as far as like truck, what separates the truck GPS from a car GPS, like a low bridge. Well, I'm not going to get into the restrictions quite yet. but warnings such as sharp curve, way station, state border, stuff like that, it'll pop up on the green bar. Darn it. It'll pop up on the green bar up here and then stay in an orange color in the top right corner here until you pass it. Okay. Now, one thing I really did like about this particular unit, and well, the Garmin interface, is when you're coming up to an interchange or an exit, or you have to stay left or right, a couple miles, well, actually about a mile before that interchange or whatever's going on, it will show you a picture of the actual interchange or exit. Whereas a lot of units will have like a cartoony look, like the Rand McNally has a cartoony look drawing of it. This will actually have a picture of what the signs will look like and the road looks like. And sometimes it'll highlight the lanes that you have to be in. It'll audibly tell you to stay in the two most right lanes, the one most right lane, the three most, whatever it is, it'll audibly tell you as well. So I thought that was really helpful. All right, so getting back here.
Please drive to highlighted route.
So yeah, tells you the route preview there. So this little button down here where it says via distance, you can click on that and you can change that to these options here. So you can have it to display your arrival time, how long it's going to take you to get there, 7 hours 14 minutes, the distance, if you had a via point, like you wanted to program a truck stop in between here and there, you can have it display that. Next mile marker, you have to be moving and on an interstate for that to show up. You can have it show what direction you're moving, the current time of day, and the elevation. So I always had it programmed to show how many miles it is to our destination. Click on this speed button over here. That's where I got to that. Let's see. Now this was nice. Click on that wrench. Say you're going down the road, and being a trucker, we have to stop within an 8-hour period for a 30-minute break. Say, we weren't paying attention, and we've been driving for 7 hours and 20 minutes, so we have 40 minutes to find something. This up ahead feature was crucial. So as you're going along, you can click into that and it'll show you what's coming up and how many spaces. That isn't a live feed of how many spaces are available right now. That's how many spaces are total. Okay, so you can also type in here and filter that, but keep in mind that you're driving, so you don't want to do too much with it while you're driving. So I would just leave it in this screen, because these lines, you see the miles here, those would live update. So as you're driving, if you don't go to that pilot, once you pass it, it'll change to the next closest thing. And if you want to go to that while you're driving, just click on that. Click on that and hit go. And then you can add it to whatever part of your trip that you want to. So I found that really convenient. And this button in the middle here, that'll just show you where you can put it on your trip. Okay, so that's that. Exit out of that. All right, go back in here to the wrench. If you're driving through the Smoky Mountains, the Rockies, the whatever mountains or hills, and you want to plan, you want to know if there's any steep upgrades or downgrades. This will show you along your route what you can expect. So we know just north of Chattanooga, there's a pretty good downgrade there on this particular route. Okay. Turns, it'll show you turn by turn. You can't scroll up through them. It'll just show you the next 3 turns. Again, these are tools as you're driving, so you can turn the volume up and down. The thing does get pretty loud. Let's see. Alright. Like I said earlier, being a truck driver, we have to have a 30-minute break within the first 8 hours. So you can start the timer here. Yep. There. Automatically goes right to 8 hours, and that'll count down. When it gets close to the 8 hours, it'll come up with a nice reminder up here in orange that it's time to take a break. And you can, if you stop or whatever, you can reset that if you want to. Okay, so that's a nice feature. Dispatch and track, we don't really use that unless you're an owner operator. So I didn't even mess with that. So I don't want to misinform anybody and tell you the wrong thing as to what it does, but I would assume it's for smaller companies who want to remotely track what you're doing. All right. If you have it connected to your smartphone, it will tell you the weather and the traffic. And you can also connect it to the phone. I have it connected with my contacts here. You can pick 3 favorites. Those are my last called numbers there. Let's see here. Let's call. So you want to go that way. So let me do this a little bit more dramatically. Go over here to Louisville. All right. And then we're going to go.
Please drive to highlighted route.
Yep. It'll tell you, it'll ask you if you want to continue with tolls. I always do, because typically that's a quicker way. Now, one thing I don't like about this unit is it doesn't estimate the amount in tolls. But there you go. No trucks allowed on that route that I selected. So then obviously I would stop that route. But just for demonstration purposes, I'm going to accept it. And now let's zoom back out. Come on, where are you going? All right, now you can see it's taking us up through Nashville instead of Knoxville and Lexington, like I asked it. Okay, so that's pretty neat. That just shows you an overview, so you can say you're right there and you want to go out. There, and you want to see the whole route. It'll zoom out to where you can see both ends. Alright, so let's go back. I'm going to go ahead and stop that. Okay. So service history, you can, if you're an owner operator, you can keep track of any sort of maintenance that you do and at what mileage. Let's see, again, owner operator. IFTA is the fuel taxes. You can keep track of that. I don't mess with that because I'm not an owner operator. This unit is E-log ready, but that does require a separate purchase. I think it's between $100 and $200 because for an E-log to be legal, DOT legal, it has to be attached to your engine. Can't be a standalone electronic device. It has to be connected to your engine to accurately track everything. Alright, let's go into here into settings. You can go into navigation. Here's where you would set up everything. You know, your vehicle profile. I went ahead and, so you can use this as a car if you want to, or the truck like I've been. So I set it up for the max of everything. We're always 13 foot 6 inches. We're always 102 inches across, and we're always 75 foot long. And just for bridge weight purposes, and you know, because some roads only have maximum tonnage, went ahead and put 80,000 pounds because that's the max we can carry. And then every time you start the device up, you have to verify that that's the information that you're going to use. Just select it. Okay. You can change, you know, 2D, 3D, how much map detail, map theme. Obviously, I kept it in Garmin. Don't want any of that other foreign stuff. Yeah. Auto zoom, that's pretty nice. The faster you go, the further out it zooms. The slower you go, the closer in it goes, so you can see details of the turns. Map layers, you know, you can show all that if you want. Up ahead places. So let's go back here. Route preferences, where you can set, you know, if you want to go fastest time, shortest distance, any avoidances that you want. And you do custom avoidances. There is this one area just south of Chicago on I-90 that we're not allowed to run. Supposedly it's a bridge that the Japanese still own, and if you decide to go over that bridge, the toll is in the 4 figures. I don't know the exact amount, but I think it's dependent on weight. So our company doesn't want to spend that amount of money on tolls. So, but to set that up, you just go to add avoidance, and if you want to avoid a specific area, you know, you'll draw a circle. Or if you want to avoid a specific road, like that I-90, say you wanted to skip this entire road 41. So you would click on one end of it, click on the other, and then confirm, and it'll add that to your avoided areas, avoided roads. So when it does its routing, it knows to stay away from that particular road. Let's see, environmental zones. I never ran into that, so I have it set to always ask for tolls, just so I have control over it. Or you can avoid them altogether, or you can always allow them. Okay. Restricted mode, if you have that turned on, it'll just it won't let you touch certain things. So in other words, it minimizes the amount of distracted driving that you're doing. You can change the voice, but you know there's only
Say
those
a
two.
command.
Whoa. Yes, it does have voice activation while we're here. So voice
Volume is at 90%.
50%. Voice command. Change volume to 50%. Okay. Obviously I didn't use that very much, so I want to get out of that. Voice command.
Please drive to highlighted route.
Voice command.
Say a command.
Volume 50%.
Main menu.
Volume
Volume is at 90%.
50%.
Volume is at 50%.
10%.
Volume is at 10%.
100%.
Volume is at 100%.
40%.
Volume is at 40%.
There you go. That's how voice command works.
Say a command.
So you can say any of those things and it'll do it. It works really well. I know it kind of seems a little clumsy right now, but I didn't use it much, so I just know it's there. One thing I wish it would do, because you do have it connected to your phone, I wish you could say that command and then say call so-and-so or call a specific number. But it does not do that through this unit. If you have a iPhone, you could do it through Siri, or if you have a Android, you could do it through Google, but it does not have that feature in this unit. Okay. Travel history. No, I don't want to disable that. Alright, so there's more stuff here to change if you want to. Connect it to Wi-Fi if it's available. That's how you would do the map updates and the system updates when you first get this unit. It took me about 4 hours to do all the updates to get the most updated map and software. This is where you connect the Bluetooth. It's just like the back end of an Android settings device. So the battery, I always kept it plugged in, so I didn't have to worry about the battery life. Date and time, you can reset everything if you want. Alright, that, dispatch and track, just another way to get into it. Alright, this is where you go to all the apps under the navigation end. Again, just another place to look at everything. I tried to set up the smart notifications. I downloaded the app on my phone, and for some reason I just couldn't get it to work. I was looking on Google, I couldn't get it to come through. I don't know if it was that I don't know. I just couldn't figure it out. So there's a traffic trip planner. Here's a good way to, if you know you're going to have multiple stops, you can go ahead and go through here, and you can see I have our starting place. That was a Love's that we planned on stopping, and that was our final destination. So you can go through and add as many waypoints as you need to. If it's a 5-stop load, 3-stop load, whatever, you can go ahead and set up this trip all the way, and it'll show you an overview of it. So you can see that's where the green flag was, where that Love's was, and the orange.
Say a command.
I didn't say that. The orange is where we started. The Love's is where we fueled, and that was our final destination, the flag down here. So that was a nice little feature. All right, under productivity, if you're connected to Wi-Fi, you have an internet browser, calculator, calendar, clock, contacts. If you have a SD card in here, you can upload some pictures for like the background or wallpaper. You can connect it to email if you want to. I tried. I didn't try that hard because I wasn't that excited about having email on here, so I didn't try that hard. Again, through an SD card, you can upload some music. It does have some pretty decent speakers on it, but it's very flat, very trebly, not much bass, so I wouldn't worry about that. And then your phone, and then general settings. So that's just another button for smart notification and to go to the phone. There are my three favorite contacts. You can go to your recents and your contact book. All right, so that's pretty much it. All right, so let's wrap this up and cut it down into some pros and cons. So for the pros, I think this unit, it has a really good build quality to it. It feels nice and solid. It has a nice rubber casing, if you will, wrapping around it, so it kind of makes it a non-slip surface to grab a hold of. Feels really good in the hands. Has a very simple software design. You can understand it and read everything right out of the box. There's not much of a learning curve. When you go to navigate for the first time, everything's right there in front of you. It's not overly packed with a lot of information, so you can hit the road running and not have to learn different drawers and buttons and stuff like that. It is owner operator ready. It's e-logs ready, although you have to buy an additional e-log adapter, which runs approximately an extra $100 to be able to be legal and be DOT proper. It has the IFTA, the fuel taxes, the IFTA tracker, service history. Everything an owner operator would need is in this unit. You can connect it to your phone. The speakers are really, really good, and you can use those speakers as a speakerphone, and you wouldn't necessarily need a headset like you see most truckers have these days. You wouldn't necessarily need one of those unless you wanted to take your Bluetooth speaking capabilities outside of the truck. But as far as inside of the truck, it is more than capable of handling the phone calls. Now, as far as background noise reduction, I can't speak to that. I don't think it'll do that. So, take that information as you will. Really fast navigation. As soon as you punch an address in, or a location or coordinates in, it finds those routes really, really quick. And also rerouting, if you take a wrong turn or miss a turn or whatever, it doesn't take very long for it to figure out what's going on and give you a new route. So those are all my pros. Now for the cons. Obviously, when I took it out of the box, it wanted to take me on a non-truck road right out of the bat. So that put a pretty bad taste in my mouth in regards to this unit right away. But after that, the routing was pretty good. It didn't try to take me down any small roads after that, so I'm not sure what really happened there. Whether it was, I don't know. But overall, it was good. The routing was good. It's just that you got to be on top of it. You got to use common sense as well if it's trying to take you down a small road. Watch for those no truck signs and use your best judgment. Personally, on the nav screen, when you're going down the road, I would like to have a little bit more information available to me without having to go into multiple drawers or multiple screens. For example, I would like to know what mile marker I'm at as I'm going down the road, instead of having to, click on this button to bring up this menu and then click on that, scroll down, and then it'll show you your mile marker and stuff like that. As well as, an upcoming road. That's really helpful in a truck, especially when you're going through a town that you're unfamiliar with, and you're looking for a specific road. Yes, it's telling you a distance to your next turn, but it's also good to be able to see as you're going what the next road is. I know, for anybody that hasn't driven a truck, that's kind of hard to understand, but it is a super useful tool to know what the next road is coming up. And also, what I wrote down is compass direction, the direction that you're heading: north, south, east, west, northwest, northeast. What direction am I heading? That would also be nice to have on the actual navigation screen. You can get it. It has all that information. You just have to know what menus to click on and where to go to get that information. So I didn't really necessarily like that. And the last con on my list is Garmin as a company is not known as a trucking navigation company. They're not a trucking company. Now, their navigation is great for cars. I've heard that they're really good for airplanes. But as far as trucking software and stuff like that, they're not known as a trucking company. Whereas, Rand McNally is a trucker company. So those are, that's the wrap up. That's my pros and cons. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, all the information. I know it's a little bit long, but I wanted to give you as thorough review as possible. So if you have any comments, comment below. If you would, throw a like on the video, share it with anybody that's thinking about getting this unit. And if you would, subscribe and hit that notification bell. That would help me out a huge amount. So, all right, guys, I appreciate you watching. We'll talk to you later. See ya.
Like, subscribe, and get them notifications.